Today is January 6th, 2024. The time is 2:40 p.m. and I'm going to be reading page 43 of 84, Application Instituting Proceedings filed by South Africa against Israel, charging them with genocide. The lack of water is severely impacting lactating women, in particular who, even if undertaking only a moderate amount of exercise, require a supply of 7.5 liters of water a day for drinking, sanitation, and hygiene to keep themselves and their babies healthy. Young mothers, unable to breastfeed for lack of proper nutrition arising from the food scarcity, have been forced to use contaminated water to prepare formula where it is available, risking disease in vulnerable babies. In parallel, the chronic unavailability of formula is also risking the lives of newborn babies who are already reportedly dying from avoidable causes due to the absence of medical care, food, water, and adequate sanitation. The impacts of malnourishment on older children may also be particularly grave and long lasting, preventing them from reaching their full potential in terms of physical growth, cognitive capacity, school performance, and productivity later in life. Many health workers also lack sufficient food and water to continue working, which will also necessarily further impact on health and mortality rates. This is all happening to a population that has already extremely vulnerable as a result of Israel's prior actions against Gaza. Israel has long hindered the creation and repair of water installation and desalination plants in Gaza, such that 95% of water from Gaza's sole aquifer was already unsuitable for consumption prior to 7 October 2023. Through its 16-year blockade, Israel also severely impacted water supply. Its repeated attacks on Gaza and its restrictions on repairing the degraded wastewater infrastructure damaged the soil, rendering agriculture challenging. Israel also restricts access by Palestinians in Gaza up to 35% of agricultural land and up to 85% of Gaza's fishing water. Consequently, over 68% of households and around 1.3 million people were severely or moderately food insecure prior to 7 October 23. October 2023, with 58% of the population dependent on humanitarian aid. 7,685 children under 5 years of age in Gaza were suffering from life-threatening wasting, the deadliest form of child malnutrition. The impact on Palestinian children of Israel's forced starvation of Gaza will necessarily be serious and long lasting. Recent reports of Israeli plans to flood tunnels in Gaza with seawater is of extreme concern, given the risk it poses for further degradation and collapse of Gaza's water and sewage infrastructure, and of long lasting contamination of Gaza's aquifer and soil. Environmental experts have warned that the strategy risks causing an ecological catastrophe that would leave Gaza with no drinkable water, devastate what little agriculture is possible, and ruin the conditions of life of everyone in Gaza. This is an article from CARE. A staggering 70% of the over 11,000 people killed in Gaza are women and children. A child is killed every 10 minutes. Pregnant women are undergoing C-sections with no anesthetics. Women and girls are facing growing risk of gender-based violence in overcrowded shelters. Due to the lack of capacity in hospitals, Women are being discharged within as little as 3 hours after giving birth. And tragically, we are now witnessing premature babies dying because there's no power to run incubators. And that could keep them alive. Sexual and reproductive health care and rights, already limited prior to the escalation, have only become worse now. Amidst dire food insecurity, women and children, especially pregnant and breastfeeding women, are at risk of malnutrition, which will negatively affect their immune health, increasing their exposure to contracting maternal nutrition related illnesses such as anemia, and increasing the risk of death for both mothers and babies. The violence and destruction have resulted in nearly half of a million women and girls being displaced from their homes. Babies dying from preventable causes in besieged Gaza. This is from Oxfam International, dated November 23rd, 2023. The collapse of Gaza's hospitals and healthcare system, coupled with the catastrophic living conditions, is resulting in babies dying of preventable causes. Newborns up to 3 months old are dying of diarrhea, hypothermia, dehydration, and infection, as mothers have little to no medical support and are living in appalling conditions without water, sanitation, heat, or food. The charity said that the 4 day humanitarian pause, if it happens, it's too short and fragile to make any meaningful difference given the scale of need and destruction. Without essential equipment and medical support, premature and underweight babies have little to no chance of survival.